Part 2 of the previous show. Remember, we've got packages left, right and centre for Mounting Yard Mail. Darren Potter set race speed profiles. Jump on board, save some money for the next 4 weeks. PBL, one to follow, all of that stuff. But we've got to talk about Hong Kong, Matt. 40 to 1, 30 to 1, 20 to 1. We know Hong Kong was back on Sunday.
Yeah, band's back together.
The band's back, yeah, exactly.
So well done to those that are stuck solid and had an absolute fill up and would have got back what they may have been down.
$4 billion, yeah.
Yeah, so from what I understand, the racing is excellent this Sunday.
I think there's a few of the stars over there anyway. So I mean, it's always
is Criterion in this week or is it the following week?
I think Red Cadeau's in.
It's either this week or the following.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, regardless of whether there's stars in Hong Kong or whatever, there's normally 10 races. There's normally 12 or 14 runners in every race. There's good. The track plays.
Good racing.
It's just great racing. Exactly right. Regardless of whether it's Group 1, Group 2, I think everybody watching this just wants to have a good bet.
Yeah. And
you've always got that over there. And I think like most of our things over the last few months, unfortunately, we've been just running second a lot. And and we don't want to bemoan bad luck because you try to get rid of it. But we haven't had a lucky period, and the good thing is we know that over time we're going to win, and the good thing is then we know that it's going to change, and this is about the time it's going to change. So I would suggest that this is exactly the right time to be jumping on board with everything with the Punter Show, as Hong Kong proved last week. When we go through the doldrums, the good times aren't too far away around the corner, because the mathematics of it all will even out to be winning 10 to 20% profit on turnover. Profit on turnover over time. It's what's been doing for years and what's going to keep being done.
Not going to change.
Not going to change. So yeah, so with that, with the downs come the ups. Jump on board Hong Kong this week and everything else. Race 5 is the 1,000 metre scamper. Now this is an interesting race to see who leads. We've got 2 absolute rubber stamped speedy squibs in Bjorn's horse courtside and old mate from Queensland, Craig Lee Cruz, with Jay Orman on board. So they look the designated straight to the lead. Well, yeah, but
he's a funny one. He can either be last or
first. That's right. Well,
if he jumps, he goes to the frame, and if he doesn't jump, well, he's just not in the race.
If I can finish, Aaron.
Sorry.
I said there's 2 speedy squibs in Craig Lee Cruz and Bjorn's horse courtside that are designated bangs, flats, and then next in line, you've got, if I can read probably it's going down through, Senator Noche, Texan Lad, Floral Insight, Religious Fly's a leader but doesn't look to be in this mix, he probably sits out of it. HT is Handsome Tycoon and Fort Sumter, all that have led races in their life and all should be there sort of somehow working it out. So it's an interesting little battle in front.
Sure is.
Plenty happening, but in saying that, they're not like super duper speed, like the whole they smash it up here. They're not super quick. They'll go a couple of lengths above average, but still.
Everyone will get their chance, I think. We'll say if you're a back marker, I
think everyone apart from the leaders, he'll be looking for oxygen masks.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway.
As we said, we don't want to be looking for leaders.
No.
Yeah. Look, sort of a horse. I'll start it off. I'm sort of gonna. I'm not sure why, I just didn't religify. I'm going to sort of give him a pass here, as in pass on him. Look, the horse is fine. Obviously his win to craftiness looks really good at Warwick Farm that day, but he hasn't been to Randwick, certainly not recently. Well, he's only had 5 starts, so he's never been to Randwick. It's Waller with a sprinter that's a bit untapped, and I don't know, it probably wasn't ideal, but he trialled with our boy Malachi and he really smashed him up there like the last little bit. So that, to me, this sort of may take the edge of him, which gives me a little bit of confidence.
While you're on him, while we're talking about Religify, is that type-wise, from memory, he's a big horse and he's only been good all his life too.
Yeah, he's quiet.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is. I mean, I don't want to be held to that, but
but he's also by Schwarzi, who don't.
They do, but still, it's a question mark that he hasn't answered yet. Anyway,
I'm half opposing him on the fact that his first up he's on a wet track which he hasn't seen before, and they're going to go fast, so he won't be leading, and he can take a sit, which we've seen, but his last few wins he's been there. You know what I mean, and that's the way we've seen him win is to Randwick. I wanted to oppose him. I think Matt and I have kind of landed on the same horse of Miniature.
Yeah, I like Miniature. I do. But things didn't quite go its way. It came off a 200-day break, and it ran a really good race to Baller Muscle, who sort of was one of the progressive sprinters that we've got in Sydney.
And he really controlled that race. Too.
Exactly, and he absolutely lunged at him.
This is a different race to that. Yeah.
So
I think for miniature to succeed at 1,000 metres, it does need a flat strap go. But then the question is, does it get out of its ground too much? And I don't think you want to be too far back.
No.
Over the 1,000 metres at Randwick on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I think the horses in front of him, the leaders are going to knock up. So that's good for a back marker or a mid-distance, a mid-race horse like him. So 5 units for me on miniature, and I'm gonna have one on Centre de Noche, who, if he does turn up, has the ability at $34.
You're expecting the sun to drop, are you? Or
no, look, he won quite well at Kensington one day, and sort of it's a weird sort of surface. It's sort of some wet track horses get it. So
That's funny.
I'm just gonna have one on him for those reasons. He could easily run last, but he's sort of a
quite
horse.
easily been there a long way. And
but look, I'm not going to go have any more units other than those 2 horses. I know Wonderbolt was a horse that did trial well, and you were quite and he's a back marker.
He was one of those horses I couldn't have had second.
He's got a great sprint in it, but Anthony, when was the last time Anthony Cummings trained a winner in town? On a Saturday.
That's a good question. Did you have one just recently?
You might have.
Still, he seems to have Fontalina Racing World just.
Yeah, but they're not winning a lot of races.
That is true. That is true. I'm quite keen on miniature here. And one thing we haven't really pointed out is James McDonald's kind of racing against no one here. Or you got Tommy Berry, who it's a shame.
James is definitely the number 1 rider on the card, isn't he?
Oh, and without. We haven't got Shin, we haven't got Hugh Bowman. He's kind of come back to under 6s, and he's like, well, let's have a go of touch footy. It's just he's got so much class on these other riders. I'm having 10 units miniature. I think it's drawn well. He'll put it in the right spot. Should get a beautiful drag into the race, and I will also be having 4 units Wonderbolt. I liked its trial. I think it will be suited. And Jason Collett's good at riding these swooping horses.
Beautiful. Well, I'm sitting out because I think it's a little bit too fluky and whatever, and and I just want to see what Religify looks like, obviously, regardless of its, not regardless of its type size, but also regardless of how forward it is first up, and same with miniature and same with whatever, and if the right spruik is for miniature, because the spruik from that stable is becoming pretty important.
Yeah.
Well, all the information.
See if a man that plays tennis comes to the races.
He'll be at the Gold Coast, he won't be there.
Oh, really?
Okay, the Battle of Dardanelles takes us to race 6. And speaking of the Gold Coast, while we're there, Johnny McLeod, mate, continues to fly. Can you spruik it while I blow my nose? Thank you. Yeah,
no, Johnny, he's been working with, I guess, some mid-level horses recently, but now sort of the carnival comes to town, and plenty big fields, big value. Gold Coast is a great specialist track. Yeah, I'm sure. I was trying to think back there. I'm sure there's been a meeting on the Saturday since in between the Magic Millions, but he absolutely smashed up Magic Millions Day. So sort of similar type style of day. John McLeod absolutely flying.
It's definitely the best probably betting card of the whole day.
Gold Coast. Looks interesting. Absolutely. So jump on board with Johnny Mack. It's warm up into the carnival with John Mack. Oh, actually, John Mack's also we've got a package for Johnny Mack too.
Yeah, we put a package up. 4 weeks. Is it
4 weeks? 4 weeks for the next 4 weeks. Yeah. So jump on board with John Mack. Give him a try. Make it easier for him. If you've been following John Mack, he's probably been the most profitable thing we've been doing for the last few weeks. So John Mack, what a man, good man, and of course back in Perth as well too. So if you want to play Perth, go with Johnny Mack. If not, Gold Coast, which is the Hollandaise Cup, which Pornichet will be favoured if it gets a run, but probably won't.
Yeah, exactly. Funny.
Okay, race 6, 1400 metres, and we have Frespinol 380, Abasso $7, Hollywood Bound $6.
Yeah, there hasn't been much money in this race at all. So I think you can sort of tell when you do the form, you're looking for the horse at the top to have good form. They don't really, so the punters are a bit unsure.
Okay, cool. Well, it will be probably, from a leading point of view,
Lahu's
almost like a 4 to 5 lengths above horse Rubber Stamp, but this is his 6th run in a row at 1400 metres, and he's getting slower.
Yeah.
Frespinol, Perfect Weapon should be there, and Frespinol, which has been a bit of a forward or back horse, surely tomorrow or Saturday is the day that he just jumps across and just slots into the right position, like he's looked that he could have done for a lot of starts, but has just been so poorly handled so many times.
And what about Loud Debate? It's a horse that can generally...
Possibly.
Loud and Perfect Weapon. I
mentioned that. But Frespinol should be able to just go...
It looks his chance, doesn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, okay.
Who's going?
I don't care.
I'll go because it's a race I'm still not interested in.
So you're going to have no interest in it and just
no, I have a little bit. I have a little bit of interest. Yeah. I think Abasso's run first up is quite good. There's a bit of money for him. You really couldn't make that much ground. He tried to go around them at Warwick Farm, hit the line well, stepping out to Randwick, bigger track, suited, fitter. Has runs on wet track, so he can get through it. I wouldn't say he loves a heavy track, but he definitely can get through it. My old mate, Downston Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
Here he is, Randwick, wet track. He seems to be the story of the horse. Unlucky stories come with him. Jimmy Innes completely butchered the horse last start. Went back to the inside, should have won. Looks to be racing relatively well in this really is a Wednesday race.
Oh yeah,
it is.
It's
I'm still not giving up hope on Frespinol. I think he's a decent horse.
I think it's a horse, but I'm still not 100% whether the wet track is his goal.
No, he's not. He's acceptable though.
He's acceptable. The horse that I'm showing a little bit of interest to, and it's never done anything in the wet before. But it's the clear class horse on old form, Low Country Mile, is Lunar Eyes. I thought its 2 trials were satisfactory, maybe a little bit hidden, and I'm willing to have 2 units on him for big odds.
Memory isn't a big. It's a Starcraft. It's millions of getting through the wet first up.
Yeah,
it is first up at 1400.
But I'm willing to have just 2 units.
Okay.
So it probably will be 100 to 1.
Okay.
Come Betfair, come the jump time for all those reasons. I'll have 3 units of Basso and 3 units Downston Charlie.
As I said, I like Frespinol on a horse. I just don't think it's ever really been well handled. Gay's been doing this a lot when the horses are not as forward first up as Gay has been in the past, and then often you see them screwed right down second up. I'm not.
Had a trial in between.
I'm not overly comfortable with the 28 days, but it's Gay and it's with a trial. And I think Gay anything tomorrow is probably not a bad idea because
coming back to home and
exactly. Like so, with those few weeks in between with the trial, I expected to see a much fitter version of it. And he still did run okay at Rose Hill first up, and really noticeably died in the arse late.
Yeah.
So and that was behind Medcourt, wasn't it? And I think Medcourt. Medcourt's a good horse. So I'm 4 units with Frespinol. I'd love to see a perfect ride. Tim Clark on favourites, as we mentioned last time, is almost hitting him at 50%. So when Tim Clark's on a favourite, you want to actually be on him. 4 units Frespinol, 2 units on Hollywood Bound, who's probably 1 run just a little bit short. But he's very well drawn, but they probably don't think he's very well drawn, which makes him poorly drawn.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense to me. Yeah,
but the James McDonald booking for Hollywood Bound's an interesting one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it sure is.
And I concede your point with Downston Charlie. Yes, he's a wet track and all that sort of stuff, but essentially he's not much good either, is he?
No, but it's one of.
But as you made a point, it's not. You don't have to be.
No.
Yeah, look, I think Frespinol can pounce and control and hopefully pull out enough.
Yeah.
Just 4 units there. Yeah, look, it's a funny horse. Like the Medcourt form, I think is the right way to go. And and Hollywood Bound, we were all a bit half keen on him last time, but he looks to be wanting a little bit more.
Or if he had to run a place, little Dusty was going to have a big night, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it's funny. Just back on that wet horses that never travelled in wet tracks. We looked at Aussies Love Sport. He was a horse that you could never run anywhere on a wet track, but as they get older, sometimes they seem to be able to get through it.
Yeah.
And he was as fat as a pig with plenty of.
But he was getting better. But he was getting better on the line as the track was drying out, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so his best part was on the driest part of the track. Anyway. Lovely. Moving along to, before we do race 7, Darren Potter, we've mentioned, you can get Darren in the package, but you can get it one out. You can get all the products one out as well too.
Yeah.
Mark will be doing a set as per usual, so let's jump on board with that. Where's the away meeting tomorrow? Newcastle?
No, Gosford.
Gosford does it on there.
Gosford.
Well, geez, this is a skinner for the books.
Yeah,
Gosford.
very quality meeting. I think 4 or 5 horse fields. And
Yeah, lovely. So if you want,
highly exciting.
you want to play at Gosford, you got that. Otherwise, you got Mark's stuff for Randwick tomorrow, and you can only get that by getting his stuff because he's not here, obviously. So if you want to get Mark's stuff, grab his sheet. His early stuff will be probably out now, but his main stuff will be out Saturday morning at the normal time. Race 7 is over the mile, and Intimate Moment, $5.50 with Bet365, $4.60 everywhere else. Tarrangower $5.50, $5 telepathic, and $7 for sense of occasion, and any day will do.
Yeah, a bit of interesting race.
Nose blowing time.
Yeah, look, 460, so the Intimate Moment has firmed in. 550, I don't know if it's still there anymore. And the other big over the race is Sense of Occasion, who's $11 into $6 in one place in particular.
I am laying Otraven. Never use it, and that's what's just made me awful. Anyway, okay, any day will do. Probably leads. Blackjack, and Padira's not too far away.
Yeah, exactly.
And the pace could be anything, because we've seen with Blackjack and Padira's, any day will do. Normally goes around about benchmark, but Blackjack and Padira's can be anything from -10 to +10. So that's -10 lengths above average or +10 lengths above average. So that can mean anything.
And when Surge is booked as well, it's go time.
Can mean anything.
Go
exactly
fast,
right. So yeah, so do your best with the pace.
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky one.
But I think that actually plays into the favour of one horse.
Of one horse, and we'll let you start, Dallas, because you seem to be quite keen on
Yeah, well, Intimate Moment has shown she can do it off fast and slow paces. She's got a great finish. She's got one of the best wet track capabilities in the race, and she's coming out of these mares races, which have been so strong. They're running them along. They're keeping on going. They're running them like Stradbroke handicaps almost. You know, like they're serious races. My worry is the 59 kilos to how that actually treats it, but that probably gets Tommy Berry riding her in the right way anyway. A bit conservative, you know, back, bang, and that actual normal head stuffness that we see with the big weight can actually probably make him ride it well.
Yes.
So 7 units on Intimate Moment for me, and the other one is Darcy Magic, who that provincial championship race looks a nice strong race, and the +200 metres is in his favour, and the wet track is definitely in his favour. So they're the two. I thought Telepathic's a horse that you've been spruiking up for a while, and I think you had 4 million units the last time you were on the show. She looks a bit. She ran in that mile race that the thing in the lot. Who led it? The Huey went mad on the thing in front of the Moody, not Peter Moody horse, but the David Moody horse. Its name escapes me. Anyway, it was world record pace, and a lot of horses have been absolutely busted up.
Especially when she was like 3 wide without.
And then she went out, and then she went to the 1900 metre race at Rosehill and had to race tough around there when no horse raced wide at Rosehill. Well, racing wide at Rosehill over the carnival was a no-no, so she's backed that up with that, and then she didn't go last start. She could well be of.
So did you have them going Did you have them going hard in the Amanpour race?
In the Amanpour race, they've gone fast enough, yeah. But she didn't.
There was one race where they all just came home the way they were in running. I found.
No, they've still gone fast enough. Yeah. You know, it wasn't a walk, that's for sure. You know, and Amanpour smashed it up.
I'd say it was a high class, steady speed.
Yeah, it was exactly, which is the continuation of what the mares have been. It's going to be actually a good mare season next year if they all sort of come to play. There's a lot of really interesting horses, but anyway, that's not it. Yeah, anyway, Telepathic, highly respect on numbers and all that sort of stuff, but I've got a feeling that she might be busted.
She could be just needing that spelling pad.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's why I'm Intimate Moment and Darcy Magic.
Alright, well I'm going the opposite way. I'm for giving her run. I'm not a big weights person, but she meets Intimate Moment a lot better at the weights. I think it's like 4 kilos better. I thought Intimate Moment had its chance to run where it did, and it was a little bit disappointing for mine, and where I thought she was just back, nothing else made ground, unsuited. Should get a chance here. The one gate's probably a slight query, but I'm pretty sure he'll just drop her out the back and then swing wide.
Jay Collett, he'll be hard fence, mate.
Well, he'll either be hard fence or swing wide. But going late in the day, they might be doing that thing where they come too wide anyway, and he could just
That's what I'm saying. The
the
pack will be just taking him out there anyway.
Yeah. I'm going to have 5 units on her. Her 2 runs prior were awesome. As long as she isn't smashed up, she'll be right in the finish here. And I'm also having 4 units on Sense of Occasion, who I think is just a dead set wet tracker. Its win at Warwick Farm was quite good against average horses, but it's been that progressive, like slowly progressing, and I think it does really save its best runs for wet tracks.
Yeah, I'm a bit with Dallas here, or a lot with Dallas. I love the way from a Moment has been handling sort of like the rising class this campaign.
Yeah.
Just been not just handling it, like flourishing in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I understand what you're saying. Held its spot last time, but not only did it held its spot, it was on the line. It was going just as good as any other horse.
And then holding a spot in that, and what that's been is, I think it's a nice spot to be holding.
Holding a spot behind Catkins and Noble Protector. We might look back and say that was a hot form line. I think we already had.
Are you slight query at the mile again though? Could you be looking for further? That was where I swayed away from it.
Maybe, but
tough mile Randwick, wet track.
Yeah.
This is you're going to need. You want a tough pace of fitness. Yeah, I think that's a point. If you think she's looking further from the mile, I would say that's a tick.
It's a tick for this race because they're going to go relatively hard.
Yeah, I'll go 8 units on her. I'm going to have 2 units also on Darcy Magic from the same race that Dallas mentioned, but also form prior. I really liked it on a wet, and I think it went up to Gold Coast a couple of preps ago, and yeah, ran a great race. It's had issues, but I reckon he's got it on song, and he does have a chance at massive odds tomorrow to cause a bit of a boil over. And I'm also going to have 2 on Sense of Occasion, who's also very progressive. Look, it's a bit of my chop out on the race, but I don't want to get beaten by it, and obviously I'm taking a risk against Telepathic.
Beautiful. All right, moving all along. I think that's all the spruiking that we needed to do. And remember, as I said, if you didn't want to buy packages, you can buy everything individually as well too, of course. And Pro Better Live, jump on board. Chat room will start probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Matt, when we've done all the other work, and start. We'll start updating you about the track conditions, get out and have a bit of a walk of the track, see how that's like.
Any change of tactics and stuff like that gets thrown
all that stuff, a bit of a market feel about some of the most likely firmers, where the markets are going with some of these things, both Sydney and Melbourne, and just start getting involved and start throwing your questions in really in the morning. It's really good fun, so jump on board. Pro Better Live, go to probetter.com.au to find out more. The Bluebird Nurses wrap up the day on Anzac Day at Randwick, and Electric Power $7, Copy $7.50. Nozoom probably won't run, will it? But it's not out yet. $3.80, and Song and Laughter $5.
Yeah, and as I said, a few scratchings this morning, potential scratchings, has made this a very quiet.
Reasonably so that Nozoom ran yesterday.
Nozoom and Rahi Storm both ran yesterday,
as did Rahi Storm and one other maybe. So yeah, no great movement. Personally,
Song and Laughter, Vergara are probably the leaders in not an overly willing race.
Yeah, exactly right. I didn't see too much happening at all. I found one sort of play in the race at odds, but it wasn't a race I was keen on. Is anyone keen enough to lead this one up?
I found one at odds as well, and was quite interesting.
Oh, put him on the table, boys. Put him on the table.
The horse, I'm interested to see. I don't like its blinkers off, but it is gone from Dickie Van Dyke, who probably couldn't train a ball to roll down a hill when he had the horse. Miss Vaughn, she's a horse.
I did make the call, about 6 months ago. He
Yeah,
ran another
winner.
winner in Sydney on a Saturday.
And I do think his best.
I think you can say right here and there that was that call's
strong call.
That call's pretty well solid.
It would have saved people a lot of money if they did.
It's I mean, like, what are the how many people get given life in racing, and 6 months is not normally that long. So
this was
I can claim that as one win I've had this year.
Yes. She's been a mare that showed ability when with Guy Walter, the impressive second to Arabian Gold on a very, very wet track.
Very wet track.
I thought both of the trials were satisfactory. I'm interested to see how forward she does look. She's 30 to 1 and could quite easily start 50 to 1.
You think Joey blinkers off is indicating as typical Joey that
it's typical Joey
that will be ready third or fourth up?
Yeah, with the blinkers back on, but they can run real fresh. She was always tested over. She was always tested over like 2,400 metres, which I don't think was a go, but that's something they do with 3-year-old fillies, is push them past their capabilities.
Yeah.
I think she's better probably set around the mile, the 2,000 and 1,400 first uppers.
Cookie. Hello, Cookie.
Hello, Michael.
If it was Fletch, he'd answer.
Yeah, definitely. I just think she could have a little bit of class on this field and drawn to get the right run. J Parr, I actually don't mind him on the roughies. Roughies.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Where there's no pressure there, he seems to ride well. I couldn't go past Song and Laughter. It's just with the favourites possibly coming out, it just depends what price it is, because there's probably no mare going much better than her in the midweeks at the moment. She loves the wet track.
I suppose we should just caveat this too. If the rain comes too, this obviously becomes a different world too as well. I think we're all approaching these last few races with no rain, but the rain is forecast for about 3 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah, and it could really just become bottomless.
Oh, if it rained, it was 2 mils of rain, it's game over.
And one other horse there's a horse that swims in this race. Its run was good. It was unsuited by the track last start in a race where a leader's won, is Wings.
Yeah.
Paddy Murphy.
World's best rider, Patrick. There he is.
Yes, I thought its run was good. Golden based. I liked its run. I liked its last run. Hit the line well. Wet tracks, suited. By then, I don't think it's really going to matter where you're drawn, because I think they're all going to just be going for the outside fence, and inside draws probably aren't horrendous.
Anyway, Copy will start close to favourite. Electric Power. Electric Power's run was great the other day.
They're the other.
All the favours, all of that shit. Very rock, very forward. So it had every chance to do it, but it's still done. It still raced very, very well.
Yep.
So you can say. You can bring it back and say it was a fluked and flattered performance and all of that business, but it still had to do it, and it's done it well.
And its run prior was good to Harmonic as well.
So whilst there's reasons to bring it back, there's also reasons to say, well, it's actually gone quite good. So it has to be in there. And Copy is a very, very good wet tracker. Let's just go back to the day that it won at Warwick Farm, which wasn't a great run. But you talk about trainers who couldn't get a horse to go. That was right in the middle of John O'Shea not being able to get them actually to do anything. And that was
I think on the bottomless track.
One on the bottom. So it won when it was O'Shea off. So I think it needs to be respected, especially if more rain comes. Jay McDonald, barrier 11. Looks a good mix.
Yep.
And I'll have 2 units on Copy and 2 units on Electric Power.
Yeah, I'm just going to have 2 units on Vigara, who just first up was just demolished the field. And not a great field.
It did win like it was Burnborough.
Yeah, and look, it might have just hit a touch of form. It's going well, and it was a wet track. And look, sometimes the last few races you sort of think they're going to swoop, but then it's their leaders keep kicking on.
It just makes it becomes too hard to make.
So like at 15 to 1, I'm having 2 units on.
So I'm 2 units Miss Vaughn and 4 units Song and Laughter and 2 units Wings.
Beautiful.
And agrees with the 2
I like what you're
horses
saying
you
about
mentioned.
Wings.
Wings is
We know it'll be in Glenn's numbers because of the jockey.
Well, why wouldn't it be? Well, Patrick Murphy.
How can you not find Paddy Murphy at Randwick
strike rate rider. Beautiful. All right, boys. Well, thank you very much for that. As I mentioned, plenty of packages all across the board, and you'll be back on Monday with the Punters Show. You'll be back next time Mark isn't here.
Yes, off the bench.
All right, lovely, beautiful. Well, we are literally
on the
bench.
See
ya. Thank you. Good luck. Thanks for joining in, and away you go.